Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I bring on a guest that I had on in the past, and I liked them so much I had to bring him on back. So today's guest is Nick Libert, and he's founder and CEO over at EXIT Strategy Realty. Nick, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you, Adam. It's an honor to be on again and to catch up with you.
Oh, man, I cannot keep up with you. You win too many awards. I'm always on Instagram, and I'm like, wait a minute, they gave this guy another magazine, another award. What's he doing?
My gosh. You're too kind.
No, I'm too accurate. I'm not being kind. So I think that's going to fit well into some of our discussion today, which is talking about time management and how to manage a lot of things coming your way, which you do well. But before we do that, Nick, I don't want to assume that we have a lot of new listeners. So I don't want to assume they caught your first episode. So first, start off just by talking a little bit more about what you're doing over at EXIT Strategy Realty.
Sure. Well, we are a real estate brokerage in Chicago. We service the city, the suburbs, from the shoreline to the skyline, and pretty much everything in between, all the suburbs. And, we've been growing exponentially over the last decade. We just celebrated our 10th anniversary as a brokerage.
Woohoo! 10 years. Congrats.
Thank you. We're excited. We started with 8 agents at the absolute bottom of the market. I opened on October 29, 2009, which was right about the bottom of the stock market, and the real estate market bottomed out, the next 2 years. So it was a really interesting time to be starting a business. We learned a lot at the beginning. We opened with 8 agents, and we had so little resources. It was really a surprise to me that anybody wanted to come work with us. But they did. I think they saw some things as far as the way we treated our agents, the way we empowered them, and the way we were educating consumers. And so that over the years has really become our focus. And I think the last time we talked, we were really just getting into some of the systems and structures that I've been coached on by industry leaders. I've had some really wonderful coaches, and I've made, quite frankly, a lot of dumb mistakes along the way that I want to make sure that other entrepreneurs don't do and save them a lot of time, hassle, and heartache and money out of the bank accounts that I learned the hard way. So, since the last time we talked, I've really focused on a couple key areas, and hopefully we'll have time to go over those areas today.
And we shall. Let's, before we get into that, though, just so that the people listening know and they know whether or not it's a good fit to follow up with you afterwards, what kind of clients do you work with? What do you prefer? Give us a little bit more on that end on what's a good fit for your practice.
So EXIT Strategy is all different kinds of real estate, residential, commercial, investment, all of the above. We do leasing. We're full service sales, leasing, and investments. But I particularly focus on a couple of key areas. I focus with a lot of first-time buyers. I then focus on tremendous seller marketing. So we have really effective systems to get properties sold, get exposed to more buyers, and potentially get a higher sales price than the average agent. I focus also on education of consumers in terms of not just buying a property, one place to live in, but to follow that rich dad, poor dad philosophy of getting out of the rat race, building a business, multiple sources of income for yourself beyond your 9-to-5 job. So, it's a huge task. We are excited to be continuing with it in 2020 and beyond. We've got some big plans, and it's going to take a lot of systems to keep those things moving. And that is what we are here for, is to really share what we're doing, hopefully get some other real estate agents and entrepreneurs on board with that mission, and just spread the good word.
That's awesome. All right, let's switch it up a bit, Nick. And that area is greater Chicago area, yes?
Yes, Chicago and the suburbs. So northern Illinois, huge land of opportunity, the land of Lincoln, but these days it's the land of kind of a resurgence. We've got a new mayor in the city of Chicago. We have a lot of energy, just a lot of new opportunity coming in, new money, and just a lot of vision for the future, and that is going to signal investment in real estate, and we're already starting to see that in areas that have historically been overlooked, the city's south side, the city's west side, places that have been neglected for a long time. We opened our second office this year in the city of Chicago. Actually, last year now. We opened our office on the south side of Chicago. We see a lot of opportunity for growth well beyond just the Obama Library and Amazon and things like that coming in. There are major players looking at the south side of Chicago going, wow, we can get a lot for our money. There's a wonderful workforce here that's eager. And just again, I've used the word opportunity to describe what's going on in the market. And right here, there are roof at EXIT.
That's awesome. Let's switch it up. So I do want to, something that you wrote as a proposed topic that just hit home, and I was like, oh, if there's a person out there that I want to hear their opinion on, it's definitely Nick on this, because I've watched you and I've watched your growth. And so let's talk about doing a few things well and what that's meant to you in your career.
Well, again, I always come from, here are the things that I did wrong. And I jumped into real estate in college. And, at the beginning, I was going to be a jack of all trades. I was going to do it all. I was writing mortgages at the time as well. You were allowed to do that at that point. I wanted to get my insurance license. I was just going to do everything and be a one-stop shop. And very quickly I realized that you couldn't be a one-stop shop, a jack of all trades, and essentially a master of none. So I got focused in real estate sales, really honing that over the first decade of my career. And then I started writing down and blogging what I learned and sharing that with real estate agents. But along the way, I got into real estate flipping as a side business. I learned very quickly that you couldn't flip 3 and 4 houses at once. My appetite, my eyes were bigger than my brain or my pocketbook, and a lot of other real estate investors got into that as well. They saw money, but they didn't realize the time involved in order to make that money. And so I got in way over my head on the flips, and the last couple of years really learned some bold and powerful lessons about focusing in a few key areas. And quite frankly, you can't take advantage of every opportunity. You've got to focus on where you are most effective. And so one of the things that I did was I took a look at where I was spending my time and realizing I was all over the map. I was driving, an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to certain opportunities when I really hadn't fully leveraged the existing opportunity and audience and real estate right near me. So I cut back on that. I realized that a lot of what I did where I'd be speaking at an event and I'd say the same thing I said somewhere else, I'm like, I got to write this stuff down. I've got to leverage the technology that's out there so that I can share with more people. I just got, over the last 2 and 3 years, smarter about the way that I spend my time. I've cut out some things that were not productive. I have referred out business that was just out, quite frankly, of my natural comfort zone or area. And I've really also looked at systems to make myself more efficient. And one of those systems, Adam, I'd love to talk about today is time management. I read a book since the last time we talked called The Miracle Morning, and it just has totally changed the outlook on how I spend my days, what I do in those days, and what my outlook is for the future.
And it's amazing. And I completely agree with you on this focusing. And it's been something that I've struggled with. And I don't care what business we're in. It's a struggle. So finally, after years of being in this business, are going on 3 years now, myself and my team, we came up to two objectives, 2 main goals to make sure that that's where my time is spent. Because I'm the bottleneck here, obviously. But that being said, number 1, we want to be the number 1 business podcast. Number 2, we want to be the number 1 source for co-authored books. Anything else that do not contribute to those 2 goals, my time's not spent on. And if we don't have somebody else in the organization now that it makes sense for, then it just doesn't. We have to pass on the opportunity. Anything that does not contribute to those 2 things. And it's very interesting how many things you can weed out and how quickly you can do it once you have a very clear objective. I mean, crystal clear, laser focus on your goal. Then it really just, you get more productive, and the thing that you are focusing on and working on gets way bigger, way quicker. It's amazing. It's like magic. I'm like, wait a minute. Our numbers every week on all of these metrics are now like record numbers week after week, and it's like, whoa, okay, why? Because we're focusing on it. I love it. It's awesome. Some news, Nick. And all right, let's get into time management. So let's just jump right in there. So what has that meant for you?
Well, we all have the same 24 hours in the day, and I was studying some people that just seemed to get more done, and I realized that they were doing things much earlier in the day than I was, that I was not time blocking the way that I should. I would get up at a reasonable hour. I used to way back in the day. I'd sleep in late like a lot of real estate agents do, a lot of entrepreneurs, and I'd get up, and then I had a clear focus on what I needed to do, but very quickly life got in the way. And so the two biggest things that I knew that over the last couple of years I wanted to improve was my personal health and then also my personal real estate sales production. And so what I looked at was, okay, if I want those two things to happen every day before anything else, I've got to get up earlier, and I've got to be completely laser focused on getting those two tasks out of the way. Those big rocks that you've got to, there's a couple different coaches that say swallow those rocks or, eat those frogs. I've heard that as well. And, if you're eating those frogs early and get them out of the way, no one else can mess with you. You can open up your email later in the morning and you'll find the same fires to put out that you would own if you opened them up first. If you get up early and get that workout out of the way, science has proven to us that means your brain is functioning at a higher level. You are actually burning calories at a higher rate for a longer period of time. You're more efficient once you actually get into the office. Stress management, time management, it all becomes a lot easier. So I started getting up at 5 and 5:30 in the morning. I know people that are doing it even earlier than that. I meditate. I do some visualization of what I want my day to look like. And then I get to it. I get to the gym, and then I get right to the office or to a quiet space, and I do my lead generation. I focus on building new business and creating new connections, and then I go into the rest of my day, because there will always be, no matter who you are, no matter what your personal situation is, something that is going to get in the way of you making more money, you getting healthy, because that's just the way life works. I've got a sick parent right now. I'm, working on getting, their situation a little bit better. Everybody's got a family or friends that have got things going on in their world. They've got pets, they've got babies. There's just so many things going on in our lives that you have to time block and say, this is my time to do this. But if you put it off till later in the day or say, yeah, I'll get to it, I'm going to move it to this hour, it's not going to happen. And so you've got to have control over that protected time where it's one-on-one, you and your phone or however else you're going to lead generate, one-on-one, you and that gym or whatever your focus is early in the morning. I know people that are big into the meditation part of their morning, the visualization part, the scribing. All of this comes from that book, The Miracle Morning. So really rereading Rich Dad, Poor Dad about financials, rereading The Miracle Morning were game changers for me, where I'm realizing I think I'm doing okay. You say, okay, Nick, you're getting some awards, you got the certificates to slap on your wall, but are you really creating a positive impact, and is your life under control? Not even control, but under control. And I look at it and I go, I don't think any of this stuff is in line. I don't deserve some of this stuff. And what I do get that I might deserve, it's really messy getting there. And a lot of other quote-unquote high producers I talk to are in the same boat, where we're like, okay, we're here, we're making money, but this is a mess. This doesn't feel right. And so that was a big mindset shift. The second mindset shift was we've seen so much disruption in the real estate industry over the last couple of years, new players coming into the game, stock market money coming into the game, a lot of, quote-unquote disruption. We've always had disruptors, and we always will. I welcome the opportunity to see a new disruptor enter the game, because I see some of my competitors really getting flustered. And I go, what is my value proposition? And my value proposition is education, bringing value to consumers, making it a little fun in the process. And so we as an office sat down and we looked at, how can we long-term put systems in place so we are always providing value. We took a really good look at our CRM. Every entrepreneur needs a great CRM. Our CRM went through a major overhaul over the last 18 months, where now it syncs directly with our phones, so there's no double data entry. That was huge for us. We looked at how much information do we really have about the people in our phone. Open up your phone, and a lot of us will see Larry the painter. Well, Larry has a last name. Larry has a email address. Larry has a cell phone number. That shouldn't be too hard to get. But Larry's got a birthday. Larry's probably got social media accounts. Larry has a home address where you should be able to send Larry a personal birthday card. Really try to build people up. And beyond the conversation of buy with me, sell with me, no matter what business you're in, whether it's a service or a product, you don't want to always just be asking for something. You want to be able to give them something and make it a value. So we created 4 key areas that we are creating value. First one, personal finance. Everybody wants to make more money, save more for retirement, save on taxes. And we looked at it and go, my gosh, a lot of our clients, they bought one piece of property, but they forgot to file their homeowner's exemption. They haven't appealed their property taxes. They're not saving in their 401k, or it's not being used the most effectively. They don't have the right insurance. Wow, we're all kind of a mess. So we said personal finance has got to be a focus. Health and wellness is our second focus, because we looked at it and said, wow, okay, everybody wants to get healthier. Everybody wants to live longer. Everybody wants to eat better. What can we do to help? So we brought in nutritionists. We've had fitness classes free for our clients, building up our database to say, hey, this is not just about real estate. This is about your quality of life, because it's all interchangeable. It is all interrelated between those focuses. So those were our first 2 focuses. Then we looked at community, charity and community. There's a lot of, no matter where you live, big city, small town, a lot of people in need, and a lot of neighborhoods that need some love. And so we said, we want to go back into the community, pick a charity at a time, a neighborhood at a time, and create some value and some energy. And so that is our third focus, charity and community. And finally, we are a real estate brokerage, so we went back to the basics, and we said, we have done so many home buyer seminars. That's the baseline. That's like sending a monthly e-newsletter. If you can't handle that, you probably don't want to be an entrepreneur. If you can't handle doing a simple seminar, you may not want to be in a business that's supposed to provide value. So we looked at it and said, where else with the real estate space can we provide value? Is it credit repair? Is it how to stage your house for success in selling it? How to leverage your existing property to buy more property? Really going beyond that first-time home buyer seminar that I think is such a fallback for most of us brokers. And we have just had such an exciting time, a fun conversation with our database, getting deeper, not just wider, but deeper, and saying, hey, we are your real estate brokerage of choice. We've got some great things for you. And that's just the way EXIT has always rolled. We are a company that provides value to our agents in different ways. Our office, I think the last time we talked, we were about to launch our healthcare policy. So we have a group health insurance policy that our agents can opt into and pay into. Our residual bonus structure, which is a feature of EXIT Realty International, is about to cross the $3 million in residual bonuses generated mark. That is a huge impact. Yeah, huge impact on the realtor community within EXIT, and we're seeing some massive results. And so that's the EXIT Realty International 2020 word is impact, and I love that. But my 2020 word is joy. And I looked at my 2019, and it's fun, Adam. You and I follow each other on social media, and I'm always impressed by the content you put out and the value you provide. Speaking of value, and I looked at my 2019, I go, well, that was a lot. But was it fun? Was it fun for anybody else either? Because I'd run into these events, and I'd speak at an event, and, my suitcase would be dropping out, pamps, and my phone would be ringing for the next thing. And, I didn't spend enough time with my family. And I'm going, this was a lot, but I don't think it brought joy to anybody. So right here at my desk, I'm standing up at my standing desk. I got them for all of us that work at EXIT, the staff. We love them. And I'm standing here staring at my 2020 word, joy. That's all it is, the word joy. And how I'm going to bring joy to the people around me this year is I'm going to manage my time better. And the first month, this has been a lot of fun doing it. I've actually had a fun month of time blocking and saying, you know what, I've got this time I'm going to be lead generating. So then I've got this time to calmly coach agents where the phone is turned off. I'm going to have this time to calmly and really be present, talk to my clients and educate them or help them through a problem when it is time to put out the fire every day, because there's always a fire to put out. And then it's just going, wow, I'm not sure yet if I'm 100% relaxed, but I am bringing some joy, and I'm having some joy doing things in a more structured manner because of time management. So I think a lot of people hear the word time management or time blocking and they go, oh, or they've read the Miracle Morning book and they go, that's not for me. I would implore your audience, try it again. try it again. There is a lot of study on habit, and there's another book out that we're reading right now called The Power of Habit. And in The Power of Habit, it discusses it takes 2 to 3 weeks to really get a habit to stick. It'll be a really uncomfortable 2 to 3 weeks, but all of a sudden, your mind is going to shift. And one of the things that I got off track on last year was the birthdays. I got a lot of joy out of bringing people little birthday gifts and sending them little notes in the mail. And I get such a huge response. People say, Nick, oh my gosh, my grandma didn't even send me a birthday card this year. She wrote on my Facebook wall. You're the only person that sent me something in the mail. Thank you. And I'd hear from people that I haven't heard from in a long time. And I loved it, and somehow I got off track. And I said, I have got to do this again, but rather than just say I'm going to do it or put it on my business plan, I'm going to time block for it, and I'm going to force myself back into this habit. What do you know? January 1st, I started it, and, I wake up now, and it's part of my earlier morning routine. All of a sudden, it's just natural again, and it fit right back in. I was not naturally a morning person. A lot of the people I coached were not either. And now I feel uncomfortable if I don't get up early. My body is telling me to get up early, even if I didn't get enough sleep, which I'm still working on the sleep part. But there's just so many cool ways that you can, improve your world and the world around you. And the first time we talked a lot about, business planning and things like that and making money. And I think that this new decade caused me to pause at the end of last year and really think and redo my vision board and look at my business plan and go, is this all in line, or is this just all stuff thrown against the wall because it sounds good? And I took some stuff out. I replaced some other things, streamlined, and it's a fun time to be in the real estate business, and it's good to catch up with you. I'd love to talk further.
Awesome. And Nick, definitely great catching up with you, and and I'll continue to follow. And yes, you are bringing joy, so keep doing what you do out there. I love it, and keep up the great work. And so if somebody's listening to this and they do want to connect with you to learn more about EXIT Strategy Realty, what's the best route for them to do that?
The best route, follow me on social media, and I'll follow you back. We'll connect there. I do a lot of talking and sharing and interacting on all social media. It's the same screen name everywhere. It is at Nick Libert, so that's my first name, Nick. My last name is L-I-B as in boy, E-R-T. So at Nick Libert on all social media. Would love to interact with you, add you guys, and have some good conversations and hold each other accountable. That's a fun part of social media. It can really be a healthy part of it.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, hey, Nick, really appreciate you coming back on the show, and been great to catch up with you. Looking forward to our 2021 episode next year, see what we want to talk about then. But for now, hey, it's really been great catching up. And to the audience, always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you had some fun listening. We sure did have fun making this episode for you. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, Money Matters Top Tips, leave us some comments in the comment section. Let us know how you deal with time management and what some of your goals are in 2020. Love to interact and talk with you there, so leave us some comments on the video. And Nick, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, appreciate you, Adam, what you're doing too. Thank you.